Lions Learning webinar courses that are featured from now right through till June. So without further ado, I'll pass it back to Ruth or to our team presenting tonight, Lion Christine Forsyth and Lion Jim Bartley. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Jamie. Go ahead, Christine.
Okay, I'm going to start sharing my handy dandy screen in just a moment. I got to go back and get to the beginning as opposed to the middle or the end of this thing. That would have been smart. Okay. All right, now let's get over. Come on. Are you seeing my screen yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
There we go. We are now.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, brilliant. All right, so this is e-commerce selling and fundraising online for Lions Club with a side order of Facebook. So I'm going to be running the presentation, and Jim will jump in when he's up to speak. So this is weird. Okay. Oh, there. Can you see that?
Yes,
Are you
we
seeing
can.
like my whole screen, by the way?
Yes, we can.
And there's nothing over top of it because I've got so many screens here, I'm confused.
No, what we see is the presenters,
That's
Jim
the
Bartley's info, and Christine, your info.
Okay, beautiful. So, well, Jim can certainly talk about himself, but this is the information he provided for me. He's very kindly repopulating the planet. All the while being a civil engineering technologist, industrial consultant, and realtor. And 30 plus years, I'm feeling very, youthful in Lions service with only 10 years myself. So we pulled this together to sort of weave together social media and how to extract money from people online and other ways. So I'm Lion Christine Forsyth, and I'm a corporate communication designer, novice astrologer, although I cannot predict how well this is going to go tonight. Golf enthusiast, no dependents, because clearly people like Jim are taking care of that, providing dependence for the world. I have no pets, unlike Lion Kelly Russell, and I have a significant difficulty in saying no when people ask me to do stuff like this. So what are social media? I know you're probably saying, what is social media? Well, apparently what are social media? That is actually a Google definition because, God bless Google. Social media is a way that people like you and me and everyone else in the world can get our opinions, our interests, our pictures, our lunch, whatever we want to get out there online, ourselves doing ridiculous things like getting buckets of water poured on our heads, and sharing that with like-minded people. So there are plenty of ways to do that. Facebook being the primary way, and of course, Instagram, things like LinkedIn, which are more of a business side of things, but it's something that from a social media perspective, and we will be dealing with these things in the next seminar that we're talking about social media specifically. But LinkedIn is something that, people who are still in the workforce are very, very much involved in LinkedIn. So that's another way to get at people, and Google Plus. So right now we're going to concentrate our efforts on pretty much Facebook. So Jim, this is your slide.
I'm here. Can you hear me? Thank you.
Yep.
Can you hear me? Good. Okay. I know this is news to everybody, but times have changed. Biggest challenge a lot of clubs are having now, quite frankly, is the fact that the traditional way of running a club is challenged quite significantly when you can't get together and have the social interaction as a member of a club. But we need to take advantage of social media because, quite frankly, our communities that we live in are very much using social media now. A lot of people have to go to work on their home computer online. Our kids, our grandkids are online going to school. And this is something that was happening slowly, but it's accelerated because of the environment we're in right now. But basically, social media is going to be it is a part of Lionism right now. And the more and the sooner we learn about it, the better. The reality of it is with Lions clubs, traditionally, when we went out to sell tickets or set up a booth in the street and for a fundraiser, we ran into a situation where for few people were carrying cash. You need to be able to receive support from your community and help them pay for or donate, purchase a raffle ticket or whatever by providing access to a credit card or basic electronic payments of any type. A lot of people today, of course, are online. They get their news online now. They make their purchases online, especially now. A lot of people won't go in a store, but they can still purchase clothing, whatever they want online. But for us, if we're not open for business, fundraising is tough. If you don't have access for the general public in your community to provide you with the money on your fundraising activity, you have a problem. And doing service is extremely difficult as well. The same reason you have to be open to invite the public into on a service project to come in and help you, for example. It's a great way to introduce yourself to new members and involve the community. And when things are people are home and confined, people are looking for a way to get involved in their community. And if you let them know through the internet online that you're doing stuff in your community, they'll want to get involved. Now is probably the best time ever for Lions to become more active in their communities, not less. Traditional Lions service activities challenged. So what now? If you can't, you just pack up your tent and leave town? I don't think so. I think we're here. We need to pivot to what our communities are doing right now. We need to reach out to a wider community audience and invite new members and promote our service activities. Lions are meeting online now. A lot of clubs are doing like we're doing right now, meeting through Zoom and other ways, but they're challenged because they don't know how to use social media to increase your community visibility. And the bottom line is with e-commerce is how do you raise funds with just a website or with a Facebook page? It's something that's being done all over the place, but Lions for some reason have been slow to adopt this method. Lions Clubs International have provided digital social media resources for Lions. There's a lot of it, and we're going to show you some of it with this presentation, but now is the time for Lions to start using the tools that have been made available to you by Lions Clubs International. Okay, Christine, can you go to the next? There we go. Smile, Lions Smile. Social media includes Lions everywhere. And if you go to the Lions Clubs International resources site, you're going to see Lions Smile. It's social media services that are online. For me, right now, it should start with Facebook. If a club is going to start with using social media to provide service and also to raise funds, they need to start with Facebook, I think. Just stick with one and get it going and then branch out to all of the other social media outlets. Share your Lions Club service stories with your followers. Promote your club's activities and initiatives to a wider audience, a much wider audience using social media than you can do by talking to people at the coffee shop or running an ad in the local paper. People don't read papers that much anymore. You're not exposing, as an individual Lion, you're not exposing anything personal, so you shouldn't have any concerns with regard to doing anything that you're posting. All you're being asked to do is to get the word out that the activities that your local Lion Club is doing. It's not scary. So the first thing that your Lions Club should start is a social media or e-commerce team. You need 3 or 4 Lions on your team. You need more than one person on a social media account, because if one disappears or is away for a reason, you've still got one person that can administer the account. You need to develop your own Lions Club International or club partners online content. Getting content for your posts or pages is not that hard. Pretty well there's a lot of Lions clubs that have Facebook pages that you can follow. And you'll be surprised at how much really good content there used that you can share with your followers online. So Lions Clubs International's Facebook page, the A12 Lions Facebook page has a lot of good content on it. And a club partner like Lions Foundation of Canada have a lot of Facebook support for your club so that you can promote fundraising for the guide dogs online and raise money online using their setup. And Lion Kelly is going to talk about that a little bit later to show you how you can benefit from a partner's existing system. You don't have to invent the wheel. You can just use what your partners are providing. The big thing with social media is like anything else in promotion is you take lots of photos and video more so because it attracts people and people stay on your message longer when they see a video. The main thing is to have fun with it, keep your messages engaging, and post and share often. The more you share, more often you share, the more often your community will see what your club is involved in. And quite frankly, when they Google you the next time, they'll see what you're doing.
Okay, we're gonna just
Christine, there you
have a
go.
little handy dandy.
There you go.
Oh, now I have to get out for that. Hang on a second.
Good work.
Aren't many Lions initially not using social media?
Yeah, they're a little bit hesitant about probably. I think they need to offer their personal information on the internet. That makes them a little hesitant.
Aren't
Hang
many
on a
Lions
second.
initially
It's
not
about
eager to jump
lines
into
when they
social
use
media?
social media.
Yeah, they're a
and the
little bit
internet.
hesitant
That is the
about
important thing. They don't have to
Okay,
put their
I'll just
personal
get rid of
life
that.
their personal information.
Sorry,
Once
folks,
they're
I can't
internet,
get out of
that
this,
makes them a little bit
I can't get out of this
to
loop.
adopt
We teach
and
them
get a start
it's
in
about
that
lines
business.
when they use social media
So,
and the internet.
Okay.
Walk me
That
through,
is
give me an
the important
example of
thing. They don't
how
have
Sorry.
you take someone who is
there,
extremely
once they
reticent, does
understand
not,
that, it's
not
much
eager
easier for
to
them
put any
to
information out there and
adopt
get them
a
very
start
excited
in
about
that
it.
business. Yeah, I tell them
Sorry,
when
sorry,
you are
sorry.
a
Walk
Lions
me
club,
through,
you
give me
want
an
to get new
example of
members, you
how
want to get
you
sponsors.
take
Gotta
someone
stop
who
this
is
guy from talking.
Money in an
not
organization.
eager to
who
put
Not
any
quite sure
information
why
out
we're-
there and get them very excited.
What's going on here, folks, but I apologize.
When you are a Lions club, you want to get new members, and that is a very good reason when this to have Lions he has to put money in an organization about them.
Wow, that's interesting. Sorry, folks.
So it's you also want to know the people behind it. You want to know what they are doing. Most important, that is a very good.
Sorry, he's in there like 15 times. I don't know why that was happening. So can we go back to that?
I don't know. You can try.
Do
Basically,
you
this is a resource, one of the resources that's available to your clubs. If you go on into Lions resources social media section, it's just a short 3-minute video showing, talking about involving your Lions members in social media and the benefits to them. Can we try that one more time, Christine?
Yeah, we're gonna give it a shot. I've got to find my bloody cursor. Sorry, folks. There it is now. Now I have to get out to it.
Aren't many Lions initially not eager to jump into social media?
Yeah, they're a little bit hesitant about probably they think they need to offer their personal information on the internet. That makes them a little bit hesitant. But we teach them it's about Lions when they use social media and the internet. And that is the important thing. They don't have to put their personal lives there. And once they understand that, it's much easier for them to adopt and get a start in that business.
So walk me through, give me an example of how you take someone who is extremely reticent, does not eager to put any information out there and get them very excited about it.
Yeah, I tell them when you are a Lions club, you want to get new members, you want to get sponsors. And when this person thinks he has to put money in an organization who says we want to do good, you also want to know the people behind it. You want to know what they are doing. And that is a very good reason to have Lions clubs put out that information about themselves into the public. So it's much easier to get new sponsors, donors, and most important, new members. 5 years ago at the convention in Hamburg, I met a Lions lady who was close to 80 years old. And she told me she supports diabetes projects for 20 years. And she wants to adopt internet and social media to support that. And she switched her Lions Club in order to get a club who promotes their service with internet. And that is a good example. I tell other Lions when we meet either at a convention, an online seminar Smile is doing. And so with that example in mind, it's much easier for fellow Lions to understand the importance of that media.
Now that My Line is coming about, how is this going to help or hurt, or how is it going to sort of enhance your experience in educating other Lions?
Yeah, I think it will help clubs who are hesitant to get more enthusiastic about using that kind of technology, because they will also see their own club in the news feed. Other Lions club will say, hey, I saw your club on the My Line app. I saw you did this service project. It's great. And once you get that feedback, you think about yourself, wow, that's a good thing what we are doing, and it will help us to grow with our service, reach out more people.
Is there one aspect of the My Lion app that you're most excited about?
Yeah, my favorite is really to get in touch with other Lions. So it's very easy to find other Lions in your neighborhood, but also in your country, or when you travel abroad, or when you're at a convention. It's easily to find them, to get in touch with them, and to find similar people, Lions who work on similar projects, to exchange ideas. That's wonderful.
Okey-doke. So let's get back to the
Christine.
presentation. So clearly, there is some hesitancy in getting people involved in social media, but it is a great way to connect. And what that gentleman was saying about My Lion and finding out what other clubs are doing and connecting, that's also something you can do on Facebook by, being friends linked and connected to other clubs and just posting their stuff, so people really just get a sense of how connected and how many clubs are out there in the community. So that's good advice. So what is the difference? We're gonna hop now into just talk about Facebook specifically, a page versus a profile. What is the difference between a Facebook page and a Facebook profile? So in order to have a presence on Facebook, you need a profile. Profile is the place where you post your lunch, your holiday snaps, your dog's tricks, whatever it is you're, doing, your basket weaving, or, sourdough starter, whatever you're doing at home in the privacy of your own home or within your family and friends, that's your profile. That's all about you. We're not talking about that. We don't, as Lions, we want a Facebook page. So the page is for organizations, brands, businesses. It's available, it's visible to the public, and it is, nothing personal is shared there. However, you kind of have to have a profile in order to set up a page. So that's a bit of a challenge. And we talked about that, about having multiple people who are on the, who are admins on that page, because if something happens to somebody, they decide to leave, they'll, they have a problem or they go to another club, you're stuck with trying to get onto your own Facebook page. So that's a subject for the social media presentation specifically. But when you're building out a social media page, a Facebook page, it is for look at your club as a business. How would this business put a face out in public? And I think you can't go wrong thinking in that way. So in order to make a page, you have to have a Facebook profile. Something that's really important, anybody who's been on Facebook for a long time knows this, they change things constantly. So you think you've got the hang of how to really make your Facebook page rock, and you know how to, get all the information you need out there, and then they change it and they give you a so-called enhanced suite of tools, and then you're back to square one. That's just the nature of the beast. So, persevere with it. And there are always users out there who are going to be prepared to help you. You can find, YouTube's a great resource. You can find any number of resources to help you get that business started. So Lion Jim was talking about this
Yep.
resource,
media,
social
remind-
media. And I'm trying to
Social
get
media,
at this
quick
so I can actually, let's go back. I did have a link to that.
Christina, I just wanted to point out something on that page, the one
Oop, that
slide
one?
you had up. No, the next page, that's it there. Join, and if you take a look in the top right-hand corner of the next, there you go. You see two buttons. And I just wanted to point out that Lions Clubs International Media have e-commerce on pretty well all of their pages. They have a join button and they have a donate button. Join means if you want to get involved in a project or get involved in Lions, click that button, fill out the information, and you'll be contacted by a Lions Club in your area. Donate, in this case, means if you want to make a donation to the Lions Clubs International Foundation. If you see the resources button up on the top, if you click on that resources button, you can go down to the social media down at the bottom there, then the smile page comes up, social media. And there's the video that you just saw. And then carrying down below that, why use social media? And then just below that, all of these resources are available to you. The social media quick start guide, how to use space and set it up, ways to make your Facebook page best forever, using hashtags, creating a Facebook page fundraiser. You're going to get better information from Lion Christine shortly on that one, and a social media checklist. All of these are Lions Club International's resources have been there for a while, and they're very useful and readable and easy to follow. So when you're going to get your club involved in it, please do. And you have a backup with regard to Lions Smile. Just go to their Facebook page. Lions, just go up a little bit, Christine.
Sorry.
There, we just passed it. Just at the page. Whoa, right there. Join the Lions Smile Facebook group. You'll get a lot of actually content that you can repost on your Facebook page from that group. You also can ask a lot of questions if you want help with regard to making your Facebook page more effective in your community. It's great. It's a great tool to help you improve your own Facebook page using the Lions Smile Facebook group. And that's it. I'm done. Thank you. We can
Okay,
move on,
so
Christine, to
they do have banners to put to if you're
Yep.
having difficulty figuring out what to put up in the banner. But really, it's your Facebook page. It should have your people and your events and things that are featured in that Facebook banner, because generic stuff just doesn't do anything. People want to see the faces that they recognize, people that they can, they meet in the public, they can say, oh, I've seen you on Facebook or someplace like that. So going back into presentation mode here. So this is, this was on that page, how to create your profile account, et cetera. These things are actually links directly out to Facebook. So you can find that same information on Facebook. I can tell you how to convert a Facebook profile to a Facebook page is a link that doesn't actually work. But as Lion Jim just said, follow Lions Smile for social media resources, and just stick with it, because it's a great way to communicate with your constituents or people out there.
Yep.
So
And
let's
that's
get
part
to
of
the meat
collecting.
and potatoes. How to collect money online. So a number of clubs, I'm sure, are already using the Square for Square payments to collect money for pretty much anything. if you are going to collect money, let people use a credit card in your club for any reason. That could be dues, that could be donations, items that you're selling. It could be hot dogs, it could be hamburgers, beer, you name it. If you're taking credit or debit, you have to have a payments processing system behind you. And Square was specifically designed for this kind of one-off sort of small business, and that's what we are, a small business, out in the field to be able to, collect money. So when you go to a farmer's market, somebody's selling potatoes, he's got his little Square gizmo there and he's taking your money. And as Lion Jim already said, cash is a thing of the past. So people are going to want to pay that way. And you want to be able to connect that to Facebook, Instagram, not necessarily Twitter, but however you decide you're going to sell or collect money online. And what's happened out of all of this, out of COVID specifically, is that Square has really sunk a lot of resources into enabling pretty much anybody to be able to sell online. And the Square online store came out of the Square payments. So payments, you always have to pay for handling cash. There's a percentage, I'll show you that in the next slide, of paying for credit cards. That doesn't matter whether you're going to the grocery store or you're buying a car. If you pay with a credit card, the retailer has to pay a fee to have that money handled and processed. So that's just absolutely the way it has to go. So, build that into your plans if you're going to be selling using accepting credit cards. The online store is actually free, and I'll give you some parameters for that freeness, but it's a website. So, say I was selling widgets and my widget store closed and I needed to get my widgets online. What better way than an absolutely free way to connect to my Square account that does pretty much everything that those fancy paid online payments, online store structures are charging. So like Shopify and WooCommerce, it's free. And it's available to any club that wants to get a Square account. So you get the Square account first, you move into your Square online, and we'll demonstrate that in a minute. So don't worry if I'm confusing you. So Square payments, if you look at this little handy dandy device, I'll show you the pricing for that in a minute, but it is literally the fastest way that you can get money out there in the world. Yes, you will need a cell phone, and you'll need a cell phone with data because that's how it all works. But I can tell you, Jillian, if you can do it and do it very successfully, we all can do it. So 2.65% for all major credit cards and 10 cents per Interac, which is what you want to encourage people to use Interac because, you have a $500 sale, you're paying 10 cents for that. That's pretty good payments processing. So how do we get the money? How do we get their little cards out of their wallets and their money in our pockets? Square payments, great flexible solution, allows you to get goods and services in person and online. That's the critical thing. There's no other payments processing that really covers all the bases in person and online. You get the money the next day. You have no cost for your online store with unlimited inventory items, but only one account administrator is allowed in your free store. So in your free account. So remember that. Reader for contactless and chip. So this is a $59 item at the top. You will need a cell phone with that, with data or wireless connection. Tap it and do. If you do the chip card with this little thing, and it's not attached to anything, it's rechargeable, but you're going to have to enter the amounts on a cell phone, and if the person has to use their chip card and put their PIN number on, they're going to have to handle your phone. And anybody who if you're using these little gizmos, and you probably don't want to buy more than one of them, but you should probably have one. They're going to have the app on their phone to do this. Now, the Square terminal is just like the one at the grocery store, except it's loose in the world. You can wander around with it. It's also rechargeable. It works just like any pin pad, except you can enter your amounts straight in there, or you can select from a menu of items if you're selling hot dogs, hamburgers, beer, whatever. It is a goodly initial investment of $299, but I think it could pay for itself over time. And this way you don't have to have your people with an app on their phone, but you will need to be able to tether it to a cell phone for internet, or use a wireless internet in a location that you might be somewhere. So the Square Payments dashboard, it consolidates both your in-person and online sales reporting. It's really important. Your club treasurer really needs to know what you're doing. It is, again, a free account that allows for only one administrator, but unlimited team members can accept payments with a connected phone. And you can email the transactions and deposit notices. You get email notices. So whenever anybody was buying fireworks for the Tiny Township Lions Club last year, every day I'd get a report on how much money was going by. And man, I was just shocked to see how much higher those purchases were than ever before with credit cards instead of cash. And you get a transaction history that goes back years. So the information's always there, available, and you don't have to worry about whether you lose it. So this is just an example of what that dashboard, your reports dashboard, and here's just something that shows that we had, my club sold 173 sales, 23 of them were donations, 151 of them were selling fireworks, and one was a test. So you can see what you're selling, you can see what time of the day you sold them, and they're down the left-hand side, you can see all kinds of different ways of looking at your data. And up on the right-hand side, there is a export as a CSV file, so you can pass that information along. But it's a fantastic way to keep track of things. So advantages for online store. There is no cost for the online store. On a free account, it has an easy website builder, and you have unlimited items. You can connect to Square Payments in the dashboard, and you've got all those fancy reporting features. Limitations, one account administrator, and you don't get a custom domain with this. So when you sign up for this account, you have to sign up for the account with a good name. In our case, we put Tiny Township Lions Club. Made sense. That's who we were, and that's what our site shows up as, plus.square.site. So register if you can. If you have an email that can be shared, like an admin at your Lions Club domain, or your Lions Club at Gmail, an email account that can be handed down to the people who are going to be running this in your team. You can ultimately pass on one if you've set it up personally, like I did back when, because we've been doing this since, I don't even know how long ago that was. You could probably point your custom domain if you have one to the Square site, so everything is all together. So here's just an example of, that's our free website. That was our homepage at Tiny Township Lions Club when we set up that New Year's Day polar dip. And we chose to do it as a donation. And it was really, really easy. So I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But that's just a good example also of, so online orders, you can see exactly what you sell. You see how much they were, you can see when, you can see what time of day people were doing this sort of thing. Great reporting. I know it sounds boring as all get out, but it's not. if you like numbers like I do. So just going to get out here for a minute and take you over there. So here we go. It really is unbelievably easy to set things up on these Square Online websites. You've got a header. It's just bits and bobs that you can add in there. You'll notice there was a donation. You just fire a donation in there. There are all these wonderful sections that you can add: forms, emails, contacts, photo galleries. There is a membership thing, but it's set up as a cost feature. So you're not going to want to do that. But just to show you how like really fast it is. If I was to, for example, just grab that and say, you know what, this is my Polar Dip page. I want a picture in there. I'm going to add an image. Here's a nice image. I'm going to throw that down. Make it nice and shiny. Do I want a headline? I could add a headline. And I've got a button. I haven't got a link for that button yet, but I could, and I can change that button to donate now. And, you know, we add a link. Say I go over to get a link for, there we go. Here's a nice donation link. Fire that in there. URL, save, there we go. Now I have a page. I've got a banner. If I want to add something else to mine, I can customize the layouts, the colors, and so forth. And I can add some stuff here. So let's say I want, okay, I want some content. Let me see, what else am I going to do? Oh, that's my banner. Add a section, and you can just put just about anything you want there, right? If we had Instagram, do we have a Facebook feed? Featured events, there we go. We can fire up some featured events. There's all kinds of stuff, just play with it. But the main thing that you want to do is to do that donation, right? So it's always there. You can edit this. You can do all kinds of stuff with it to make sure that you're getting the information you want. But look at that. I mean, how hard was that to make a page and set up a donation? There's a few more nuts and bolts that have to be done, but really it's not any harder than that. And then you publish your site. So that is how easy it is to set up an online website to sell stuff on Square Online. So the next thing is you want your posts to look good, compelling. People like video. They like to watch videos. If you've got videos with animals or children, they're going to go over a lot better than a picture of, you know, you handing a check to somebody, a worthy thing, but really video is the thing, the way to go. But you want it to look good as well. And Canva, again, we're looking for free resources. This is a free resource. Jim, have you used it yet?
Yeah, I played with it. I haven't posted anything with it,
Okay.
but it's extremely easy to use. And I made a couple of play pages just to see if I could, how easy it was. And it's very intuitive, not hard to figure out at all. And it's looks very professional when you finish with it.
So
It's
it's
very
free, and you
powerful.
can schedule your media, schedule your posts for Facebook, Instagram, whatever, right out of this one, so that you can decide to put it on a specific date. You can send it out right away. It's absolutely fantastic. It looks good. And literally if you can't do it in under 5 minutes, I'd be surprised. And I'm a graphic designer. I do this for a living, but I use Canva for everything because why waste time? So here's a couple of examples of club posts that we did fairly recently. One was the in support of our polar challenge. So you can see a little donate button down there. That donate button was linked right back to the donate page that you just saw in the Square online store. And there's just your basic donation type thing on the left there, but it makes it a little more interesting. And add a bit of video. This one is actually relatively boring, but I suppose I could have used some music. Anyway, point being, there are lots of things to do. There's another donate button right there, linked right back to our web page. So I'm just going to show you. I'm going to make a post in a matter of seconds here. Let us just see. We get out of that. Actually, I know what we were going to do. We're going to go over here to Canva just to give you a flavor for how easy this is.
Christine, it's Denise. Can I ask a question
Let's
right
discover
here?
Canva's editor.
Yeah, sure.
Learn how.
So I just opened up the or I Googled Canva,
Mhm.
and there was a free Canva or try Pro Free for 30 days. Can you give a difference of what benefits it would be if you were paying for it, and how much it is if you're paying for the program you have?
Really, the only pro features that I think that and you don't really need them is custom fonts and custom color palettes and so forth. I don't really think you need that. I mean, these are big expenses that you'd be better off to buy a Square terminal than to be spending money on these things. I think for what we're doing, the free version is plenty good enough. If you find that use it for a while. If you find that it's not enough, you can try the paid version. The paid version lets you have like lots and lots of people on your team. I am using the paid version because I'm on a team with someone for another place that I support. But really, I don't think there's any huge benefit. So just all of these fun things, it's so easy. I mean, really, I was embarrassed when I found out. I saw somebody using this and I was like, wow, that's really nice. Most people do really ugly stuff. How did you do that? When they told me, I was like, oh my God, what did I go to school for?
Thank you.
Create a design and customize a template. From the homepage, select a template and start with a new blank design. Welcome to the editor. This is the side panel where you'll find all the things you can click or drag and drop, add to your page. In the Templates tab, there are thousands of professional designs to get you started. Upload your own photos or videos in the Upload tab, just like this. Browse millions of premium stock photos from our photo library. To search, type in keywords for what you're looking for. To narrow it down more, add a plus symbol and then another keyword, or use these handy filters. In the Elements tab, you'll find illustrations, shapes, animated stickers, charts, graphics, and much more. Search in exactly the same way. There's so much to explore. Discover our high-quality video library with millions of videos at your fingertips. Perfect to get your designs moving. To create your first design, start from scratch or use a template. Everything is customizable. Select the object you want to change, and a toolbar will appear above. It's never been easier to express your creativity.
It really is that simple. So, I mean, just as an example, let's do what are we going to do? We're just going to do a new, where's my Facebook post. Okay. So I selected a Facebook post. I'm going to do a Facebook post to talk about the virtual dog walk. So a little earlier today, I searched for templates that were red. It's because I like red, and so does Purina. Where did that go? And I like that one. So I like that so much. There's a nice picture of kids, but that doesn't work. Oops. Hang on a second. I want that picture instead, which I cribbed off the website, I might add. Well, and Kelly, what should we call this? Oops.
Guess it's the virtual walk for dog guides, I guess.
Okay. I don't know that our club is doing one, but here we go. Here's a nice little logo. I gotta, oops, sorry. Let's put the website in there. I want to make that bigger because I want people to go there. What I also want to do is I want to move that because I can't see. Where's my stuff? I can't actually see where my link is on my screen. Sorry, folks. There we go. Oh, yes. Here, I'm going to have a link. I'm going to apply that link. So when it goes up, there it's going to be. I don't know. Let's just say, oops. Virtual walk for dog guides. Oops. There we go. Coming soon. I don't know that it is, but it doesn't matter. Okay, there's your post. I've done it. How long did that take? Somebody should have timed me. Okay, and now I'm going to publish it to Facebook. There's a nice Facebook page. I like that one. I'm sure I should say so. Actually, I should have hashtagged that, but I didn't. But I can always edit it, right? I guess there should be music here at some point. Okay, let's go to the home page. Where is my home page? Yoo-hoo. Come on. Sorry. Hey, look at that. All right, where are my pages? There. a post. I mean, seriously, how easy was that? So I think this is actually a really good place to turn it over to Lion Kelly Russell of the Halton Canine Lions Club. Kelly, for those of you who don't know, is the fundraising coordinator and Lions Club liaison for Lions Foundation of Canada Dog Guides. Our club worked with her when we were doing our Polar Challenge, and it was a great experience. She has been many years in the fundraising, event planning, media relations in the not-for-profit sector, full-time since 2018, mom to 3 teenage children, and dog mom to 2 Springer Spaniels. She did not provide me with their names, but I'm sure she'd be more than happy to let you know. Kelly, I'm going to stop my share and I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Lion Christine and Lion Jim. Gosh, I really learned actually a whole lot. That looks like a fantastic way to create posts. So what I'm going to talk about, I'm conscious of time. I don't want to spend too much time because I'm sure we need some time for questions, but I thought I would talk a little bit about the Pet Value virtual walk for dog guides and a little bit about sort of what we think makes a successful online event and how to do that sort of fundraising online, how to capture and engage people in your online event. So I'm going to share my screen. I have some PowerPoint slides. Can everyone see that? Beginning.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm always conscious when I'm talking to Lions that I'm telling you all things you already know about the Walk for Dog Guides, but the Walk for Dog Guides, of course, has been going for 35 years and has always been, up to last year, an in-person event. So in 2020, with about 6 weeks, the foundation had to pivot this event to be suddenly online, which was an enormous task. But in the process of having to pivot quickly, we learned a lot about what people need from an online fundraising event. So we, this year, again, it is virtual, in part just because across the country restrictions are fluctuating, and just in the interest of safety, we knew it would have to be another virtual event. So one of the things we wanted to try and do was, in our new website, incorporate as many of the features from our old website as we could, and also take the opportunity to, I mean, you know, necessity is the mother of invention, as they say, and take the opportunity to try and move more people to online fundraising for the walk. The walk for many years has been an event that is cash donations, pledge forms, which is fantastic, but moving forward, I think we want more of our donations to come online, because as Jim said, people tend not to carry cash. They want to do things easily, and ideally they want to do things from home and from their computer, from their phone. So we have a new site this year. We use a provider who are called Fundraising to try and help us design a site that not only helps us raise money, but helps us engage people in this event. Because I think you can't do an online event and fundraise online without also at the same time engaging people in what you're doing, and hopefully moving them from being a one-time donor to someone who is committed to your organization, to what you're trying to do. So I'll walk you a little bit through our website. I'll try and go through this relatively quickly. We can have some discussion around this. But what the website does, it allows people to register either as a participant and or as an organizer. So you can participate in the walk as an individual, or from the same site, you can organize a walk. And so that's nice. When you go to register, you click participant walk organizer and it walks you through how you do that. So when you register as an organizer, you need to create an account. You go through your personal details. And one thing I should say for anyone who has participated in the walk in the past, you have to re-register on our new website. Unfortunately, old passwords don't work, so it's a whole new site. But organizers need to go through, and at the bottom of their registration as an organizer, they can choose the location of their walk. Now it's virtual, but one of the things that we found when we did the walk last year and we made it just a virtual event that everyone contributed to, that people really missed the sense of fundraising as a member of a community. With almost 300 walks that take place coast to coast, people are very committed to their community, their walk. And so we wanted to make sure that people could still do that this year. Still virtual, but still participate as a community walk. So this allows you to create a new walk. Even if you've never had a walk before, you can create a walk on this website and organize it from here. So it can be a Lions Club, it can be a pet value store, anyone can organize a walk. Participants, it's much simpler. They just register on the account, but registration is necessary because once you're registered, it opens up a host of fantastic fundraising tools that you can do. And one of the things that I would say, Lion Christine talked a little bit about this, and Square is just fantastic for this. You want to make it as easy as possible for people to donate. You don't want too many clicks, too many places they need to go in order to make that donation. You want that donation to be right there, that donate button right there. So once you register as an organizer participant, then you have a whole bunch of tools that you can use to help you raise money for our walk. A participant is offered to choose which walk location they want to join. And all of the previous locations are up on the website. Anyone who's hosted a walk before, their details are there. But as I say, you can start a new walk even if you've never hosted one before. So participants select which walk they want to participate in. And then you have the option of creating a fundraising page. So, and you can skip all this. You don't need to do this right from the beginning, but this is a nice way of starting to engage people in your fundraising. So we also have a fitness goal that's part of it, and I'll talk about that in a minute. We decided that it would be nice to have a goal that was part of this event that wasn't actually fundraising. It was just engagement, just building a sense of community, a kind of sense of shared purpose. So we have a fitness part of it that I'll talk about in a minute. But everyone, whether you're an organizer or a participant, you can set your own fundraising target on the website. You can add images, pictures of you, pictures of your dog. And one of the things that's really nice about this website, and there are other examples of it that you'll see in a moment, there's a lot of pre-scripted messages. They're optional. You can delete them and personalize it, customize it in any way that you want. But one of the things that's nice, and Lion Christine mentioned this with hashtags, and it's nice to be able to give people tools that they don't need to think a lot about it. They don't have to worry about what they're going to say. And when Lion Jim showed the Lion social media tools, they provide a lot of content that means you don't have to worry about what you're going to say. That content's already there. The message is already there. You can tweak it and personalize it, but it's nice to have that tool there. It's easy. And it's all about making it as easy as possible. So at this point, participants are prompted to ask if they'd like to join a team. Because if you've participated in the Pet Value Walk for Dog Guides before, you know that people can participate as an individual, but they can also set up teams. And there's a lot of really nice, friendly competition amongst the teams. One of the things we discovered last year in the first virtual walk was that people really do like to kind of compete against one another. And we had a lot of really fun engagement from our staff, from foster families who joined teams together. We had, for example, the autism assistance trainers at the foundation created their own team and were incredibly competitive about how much money they could raise. And so we wanted to make sure that we could still capture that as part of the website, because that engagement, again, is really important. So you can create a team from here. The team can also have a fundraising goal. The team has images that you can add. And if you already know that someone has a team, at this point, you can search that team and join their team. So again, there's some scripted messages that people can use, but it's all customizable if you decide you don't want to use the message that's there. So one of the other things the site does, and this is optional, but when you're registering, it asks you to make your first donation, to be the first person who makes a donation, so that when someone comes to your page, they can see that you've started your fundraising. Again, you can always skip this step if you don't want to do that. So once the registration is complete, you can then start customizing your page. And there's measures not only of how much money you've raised, but it also gives you percentage of how much of your profile you've completed. It encourages you to customize that profile. And each, whether you're looking at this as a participant or as an organizer, there's a dashboard that gives you access to your profile. It gives you access to tools that will help you get support for your walk. It allows you to see your donations and track them. Everything is here. Everything is right within this website. So it's really nice. Same organizer has the same thing, the same dashboard. And you can toggle back and forth between your personal page and your organizer page. So one of the things that we have, of course, is incentive prizes. The walk always has incentive prizes, but what the website does is each time you reach a particular goal, say you've raised your first $150, that fanny pack, which is the prize that you win for $150, will light up. It turns red. So each time you've achieved one of these goals, it turns red. So when someone comes to your page, they can see that you've achieved that. You can see that the page checklist there encourages you to keep adding photos. And this is also where you can track your activity. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. The nice thing too that the page has is at the bottom of every page, there is a button that allows people to do a quick tour. There's also an FAQ, but there's a tour that they can do that points out all of the tools that they can use to help do their fundraising. So getting into the sort of social media part of it, this gives you tools to encourage support over social media. So you set your fundraising target. It allows you to create a blog. You can be a blogger, and you can upload videos from Facebook, from YouTube. You can write posts and pictures, and then you can share those on social media as often as you like, reminding people that you're doing the walk. I don't know how familiar anyone is here with TikTok, but TikTok was a real sensation last year on the walk. TikTok is a social media platform that allows you to create short videos, and it has all this really fun technology that's relatively easy. And so TikTok videos have become something that many people involved in the walk like to share. So from here, once you've set your goal, and you can begin to encourage support. So get support. You can use your social network. You can ask on Facebook. You can ask on Twitter, on LinkedIn. And when you do this, it will automatically provide you with the message. So you can customize it if you like, but if you don't want to, the message is already there. You can click and you can share it on Facebook. You can share it on your news feed in Facebook. You can share it to a particular group, to a particular page. And of course, because Instagram is owned by Facebook, you can usually go back and forth between them. You can post on both. One of the things that I'd like to see, which we don't yet do, is I would like to see some suggested hashtags, because I actually think hashtags are hard. Sometimes it's hard to know which hashtags to use. And as an organizer doing the fundraising, you kind of know what hashtags might be useful. So providing some ideas of which hashtags to use, I think is really helpful. Down here, we can also send emails. Again, it's all scripted. That email will go right from here. You can download contacts out of your email. If you download all your contacts in as a CSV file, which is just a spreadsheet, you can upload them into the website and email all of your contacts from this website. So everything is done from within the website. So here's where you can track your donations. And you can also hear if people give you cash donations, you can actually add cash donations here to have it be part of your total. So that's a nice option that was always a bit of a frustration for people. And part of the reason sometimes that people didn't want to use our website was because they couldn't also track the donations that they were bringing in from pledge forms and via cash. So the engagement piece that I wanted to mention, we decided that it would be fun to have a shared goal that wasn't just about fundraising. So what we do is we decided that this was also a nice way of reflecting the fact that we have dog guides teams that are coast to coast. So what people can do is you can link your fitness tracker, your Fitbit, your Strava, your MapMyFitness, and you can track walks that you do. And we have a challenge to see how many times we can walk the length of Canada. So while we're trying to reach our $1.3 million goal, which I think we find quite daunting, people are also engaged in walking across the country. So that's a really fun part. There's an interactive map which shows how far we've walked. And I think that just speaks to how important it is to engage people and not just expect a donation, but invite them to be part of this experience. So here, this is what it looks like when you want to track your distance. You can set a goal for how much you want to walk, how far you want to walk, and you can add those manually as well as having it linked to your Fitbit tracker. So just briefly, one of the things that we really like about the website is that everything can be done directly through that website. It's simple. It doesn't take a lot of clicks to make that donation. It allows us to track donations, and you can see on your thermometer how your donations are going and whether you've reached your goal. And one of the things, and I didn't mention this earlier, but you can also thank your donors directly from the website. Again, there are scripted thank you messages so that when someone makes a donation, you can immediately send them a thank you right from the website. That element of friendly competition is still there. I've mentioned the scripted messages, which are really nice. And the engagement piece. As an individual, as a team, I think there's a lot of fun ways that people can engage with the event. Even if they're not making major donations, they can still interact. And of course, we use our existing social media, our Facebook page and Instagram to drive traffic to the Dog Guides, the Walk for Dog Guides website. And I mentioned, if you guys haven't checked out TikTok, you should check out TikTok because it's fun and a really easy way to engage and do some fun things. So, so I'll stop my share. I'm conscious that I think we're getting up to 8:30, but anyway, that's where we are with our virtual Walk for Dog Guides website. So we're hoping that we meet our $1.3 million goal, but feeling a little bit daunted by it, I have to confess.
Okay, great. So I guess we're at the question phase of the operation. Any more questions?
Well, just Kelly, one thing I wanted to mention was that the nice part of online is that you're issued a receipt, a tax receipt. When you make a donation, you're sent a receipt, and a lot of clubs aren't registered with CRA, so that, again, that's a benefit. Collecting a donation, you're also giving your donors that tax receipt, which
That's
a
right.
lot of clubs really can't do now.
That's right. And there's no wait for that. And one of the nice things too about tracking, when you can add cash donations through the website, those donors will also immediately get a receipt.
That can also be encouraged from some businesses in your community to make a donation, that
Yes.
they get that tax receipt, whereas oftentimes with a club, they get a receipt. It's just a piece of paper. Getting a CRA receipt is another plus for this type of donation.
I'll
That was
just jump
great,
in on
Carol. Thank you.
the receipt side of things. When we did the polar dip, or the polar challenge, polar pledge challenge online, our club chose to do it through our Square Online page as a donation. And the reason for that being that we have a pledge to run the event and raise funds, certain amount of funds for dog guides. If the money went straight to the dog guide donation page, our donors, we wouldn't know who donated, and there was no way that Lion Kelly was going to, sift through a million donations and try to pick out who was going to be donating, because as Bob Murray was getting donations from far and wide. So we chose to do it that way. And you can do that. I mean, we can't generate charitable receipts, and really to try to think about getting charitable status is absolutely insane. I mean, the requirements, the reporting, and the level of due diligence is insane. So you can choose to do something like that where you are donating. It's sort of opaque from the user's perspective. What ended up happening is that our club ate the cost of the payments processing, that 2.65%. And we collected donations right up until midnight, January or December 31st, and then forwarded all the money, put all the money through the online donations at Dog Guides, because the reason for that was that there was matching money, and then provided Kelly with a complete list of all the donors that were covered under that for receipting purposes. And I think that worked out okay, didn't it, Kelly?
It absolutely did. And one of the things, it's nice that our Walk for Dog Guides website is functional and we are really enthusiastic about it. I wish we were as enthusiastic about the Dog Guides website. The
Yeah.
Dog Guides website is long overdue for an overhaul. And one of the things that we need to work on is being able to provide landing pages to people who are doing, for example, the polar bear dip, where we can set up a page, you can track all your donations. We aren't able to do that yet, and we all look forward to the time that we are.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yes,
But in the meantime, that was a workaround for us for the donations.
absolutely. Yeah.
We probably should have had a disclaimer, but nobody was overlooked, so it worked out fine. But in retrospect, I think if you were going to do it that way, it probably should have said receipting through Lions Foundation of Canada, et cetera, et cetera. But it still works. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
Are there any other questions from any of the other participants? Go ahead and either raise your hand or unmute yourself if you have a question. Okay, any final words from Christine, Kelly, or Jim before we close?
well, we have another presentation coming up, specifically addressing social media. It's at the end of the month, right, Jim?
I think it's the 23rd.
I believe it's the 27th.
Actually in the chat, right? I think it was in the chat. Oh, that's the dog.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
if you
it's,
want more information on that, if you want a copy of the slides they're available. I don't know how you normally do that, if there's a facility for
Okay,
providing that.
I have recorded it and we will be putting it on the A12 YouTube page.
Okay.
Just
What I did want to
all-
say is that, if anybody wants to reach out to me directly about, if you need help with the square or anything like that, there's not that many of you, so I think I can handle that. But no, truly, I'm more than happy to give help when and where I can. If it's something that you truly want to get involved with, and the Canva stuff, it's just so dead easy. I think that's self-explanatory, and even Facebook, although I literally hate it, but a necessary.
Yeah. Christine, Jim, and Kelly, I'd like to thank all three of you very much for your time this evening. You've definitely shared a lot of very useful information with us. We are smarter and I'm sure much more effective right now than we would have been without this particular presentation. I do see a couple of hands up, so I'll start with Nancy first. Nancy, do you want to go ahead and unmute yourself?
Actually, that's supposed to be clapping hands.
Oh, okay.
Well done. Doesn't show up very well.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And, especially during this particular time with COVID, people are really concerned about how to reach out to their public, how to reach out to their community and help their community, how to actually fundraise, and doing all of that in a safe way. And the three of you have shared with us some really good ideas on how we can do that. So I'm sincerely hoping that those of you who are in attendance tonight will go back to your club and share this information with them. And hopefully we can get to see a lot more clubs participating in this safe and very effective way of communicating with our community. If there aren't any other questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Night, everybody. See you
Good
again.
night. Good night,
night.
everybody.
Stay
Bye,
safe.
everybody.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Stay sane.
Thanks again.